Alrighty, back out of the cotton plot. Starting to make the raised beds. And as you can hear, I'm a bit winded. Knocked all of this out in about 7 minutes. I'm out here with a brand new 5-foot, 8 3/4 inch cotton hoe. And oh boy, that made quick work, all of that. We just had a light rain, so the soil's about perfect for working. It's nice and dry under the surface, but the top layer is a little wet and it sticks together, so I don't have to worry about it running away from me. And man, we'll be able to knock all of this out in an hour or two. If I had better cardio, I could probably knock it out in an hour flat. So I'm gonna get to forming beds. I don't need them to be as high as they were last year. I only need them to be about 8 inches tall, so I basically just have to do this once on each side, level out the top, and then do a little valley geometry on top of the row to help conserve water with the weed barriers, because I expect their infiltration to be not as good as with bare soil or with the bare rows. So I need to modify the top geometry of the beds in order to funnel water and retain it in the middle of the row, and then increase infiltration through the weed barriers. So I'm gonna get back to this. All right, taking me an hour meeting, so it's taken me all of about 65 minutes to hoe up all the dirt for 4 25-foot rows and 1 50-foot row. So that's 50% more than I did last year, and it took me at least a third the time. So that cotton hoe is worth its weight in gold, and that's not even at optimum efficiency. That's a 60-inch handle and an 8 3/4 inch blade. Traditional cotton hoes were between 72 and 84 inches, and they had a 10 to 12 inch blade. So yeah, that's awesome. So I knocked that out in a morning. I got here an hour early for a on-site meeting, knocked out the first 4 rows, and then after the meeting took 15 minutes to finish that one. And now I'm going to go through like I just did on this row with the hoe and just drag it behind me and grade this ridge out of the middle. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to level off the tops of these, and I'm going to form a furrow about a hoe blade width down the middle, because at the moment these are about 18-inch tall rows and I only need them to be about 8. So I'm going to flatten off the top, put in about a 2-inch deep furrow. It's about 8 inches wide, and I'll be able to lay landscape fabric across the top of that. It'll come down right to the edges right there, and it'll settle out on top of that furrow, and I can drop all the fertilizer right down in that furrow, work it in a little bit with a little narrow garden rake, put down the fabric, cut holes, plant the seeds, and then the rain will collect in there and the fertilizer will permeate through and down and be right there with the taproot. And with any luck, the amount of work I'll have to put in will be about 1/4 to 1/5 of what I had to do last year. And if I use volunteer effort to water, I may not have to do anything. I can come out here once a week, make sure stuff looks right, and maybe come out here and apply boron again. So I'm gonna get to doing the finishing work on the rows. All right, after about another 45 minutes work and a siesta to chase down a rare looking butterfly, I have finished furrowing the tops of the rows. I'll go back through and try and level out the topography as much as I can. New row looks pretty good. These other 4 all look like they kind of peak in the middle, which isn't a terrible thing, but these just seem a little bit high right in here, so I need to pull this one that way, push that one that way, pull this one a bit, pull this way, and that's it as far as making the rows. Now I have to go through and cut a trench one hoe width out the whole way around the plot, which shouldn't take too long, so that I have a demarcation for my trap crops. And then I'll probably come out and then come up from the inside or come over here from the outside and do it again on the edge. So I have a little bit of a trench running around, and that'll clearly define where I'm putting the trap crops. And then the rest of this over here, that'll get mowed. It'll come back up in weeds, because I can only manage about that width of trap crops. So I guess on here on the outside I don't need to come in, but I need to do about just 3-4 feet whole way around. Then I'm gonna have to come out here and plant that shortly. This went way faster than I thought, so I can, honestly, I can probably come out here Friday and put down weed barriers. Hey, look, bald eagle. Neat. Anyway, I can come out here Friday, fertilize and put down weed barriers. I also need to come out here and cut down all the old cotton, about that far off the ground. And then I guess I'll either come out with a weed eater, or maybe just the stirrup hoe and weed all of this before I put down the barrier. Alright, guess I'll get to that part. Alright, there it is, all tilled up, all hoed up, all cut up. So got the 4 25-foot expanding rows, the new 50-foot row, and I've got my 4-foot trap crop buffer, and I edged all that with just one pass with the hoe. Only did the inside from the outside on the ends of the rows, just to cut up the end of the valley a little bit more. So this little ditch right here will help funnel water to get a little more irrigation to the trap crops. And I'm probably going to come out here with the garden rake and flatten out these hills, because they don't really need to be elevated. I just want to have a ditch cut, because that also helps a lot with weeding. So that goes the whole way around, and I'm not really going to do anything next to the water pump, although I do kind of have a valley right in front of it, which isn't ideal, so I may have to turn the pump a little bit. We'll see, but I'm just going to maintain a little footpath right in the middle. It's about 2 foot wide. So I'll just have to come out here with a garden rake or something and level out the trap crop bed. Then as soon as the inoculant comes in for my cowpeas, I'll be able to plant cowpeas on the outside. I'm really worried about that. I think I got scammed, because it's been coming up on a month and the thing still ain't arrived, even though they said it shipped in February. So it's only $14, but I guess that's what you get when you do the free shipping option. So that doesn't show up, out to try and find some inoculant someplace locally to do that, because I'm planting those at my house too. That'd be very disappointing. But anyway, if that looks like it's not going to show up in time, I'm going to come out here and plant the zinnias and herbs and okra and all the other jazz in the trap crops. I don't know how I'm going to handle the okra yet, because it's going to get tall real quick, so I'm probably going to have to come out here and prune the okra or something. I don't know how well that does being pruned, but I'm using it as a trap crop, so I guess that doesn't really matter as long as it's putting out new growth. So we'll see. But other than a potential lack of trap crop seeds in my bag of seeds and mystery, everything's ready to come out and fertilize and put down the weed barriers. Till then, Tom out.